So I started Dalton as a kindergartner. In conversation with my parents, I think they were really drawn to the progressive pedagogy, to the creativity of learning, as well as sort of the independence with which students could seek out and pursue their interests and develop both the rigorous work ethic as well as be empowered to engage in deep introspection and to work collaboratively and creatively. What really stands out to me are the creative projects and being able to grapple with important issues, important historical facts, and translate that into something that felt fun and exciting. So for example, I was able to create 2 independent studies in high school, first of which was a collaboration between the dance department and the history department. And this idea was to choreograph the Constitution. So at a time when there was a lot of political turmoil, I was really thinking deeply about what these rights meant and drawing on my background in contemporary sort of creative dance. And similarly, I was fascinated by genocide. And to that end, I was able to work with Steve Payne, the extraordinary librarian, to create a whole curriculum on gender and genocide. I did have a favorite component of the Dalton plan, and that was the lab. I feel so grateful to have had the opportunity from a really young age to come to my professor, not just as a student, but as a whole person, and for them to get to know me holistically. Very few students utilize office hours, which is sort of a collegiate iteration of lab, and because Dalton had given me that opportunity, I knew how valuable it was to go and to sit down with a professor and to grapple with these issues together. So that has led to, again, so many of these meaningful relationships. And it's given me the skill set to sit down with both professors as well as former ambassadors to the UN for whom I was able to work and to know how to sort of manage work, but also how to grow ideas, how to sort of just a little bit more. And I think that's what Dalton taught me, and I feel so grateful for that skill set. Dalton is a rigorous education. And what's good is that while Dalton presents you with the challenges, they also give you the tools to dive into them and then to succeed. As a product of that experience, I developed resilience and I learned how to work through challenges and how to ask for help when I needed it. And that's something that's really been important both in my academic and professional life post Dalton. And even though the challenges may have grown in magnitude sort of post life after Dalton, because we're treated as sort of mature adults even from a young age, we're faced with real world ideas and issues and sort of giving us a concrete ability through sort of the nurturing of teachers, as well as the opportunities to be proactive, how to move past that and how to work through that. Dalton is amazing because the opportunities for learning are so vast and so diverse. In the wake of my independent study on gender and genocide, I had the amazing opportunity to travel to Rwanda, to Guatemala, to Hungary, to these post-genocidal countries, and to actually see firsthand what these issues I've been reading about look like on the ground. And that empowered me then to choose to take a gap year prior to starting at Brown, where I spent a semester living in Indonesia and working closely with sort of local feminist community organizers, hearing their stories, conducting these interviews. So I was able to sit down with women from all walks of life, from the person who carried vegetables on her back up and down the stairs at the market every day, to people working in these reproductive health clinics, to elected officials, to fishermen who every morning would wake up and go spearfish for breakfast. And I was able to join them for that, which was a lot of fun. I think Dalton taught me how to sort of frame the issue, but how to sort of listen and learn and to think respectfully and engage critically with these different voices, and then ultimately how to bring those together and develop conclusions and sort of extrapolate big ideas and themes. And this whole time I kept sort of thinking back to, I'm so glad I had this foundation of knowledge that I developed at Dalton, and then was able to go pursue that and have the confidence and the ability to do so. While in high school at Dalton, I was able with 2 peers to found a national youth political activism organization. I was able to pursue policy issues, political issues. Moving to Washington, I was able to both work on the senatorial campaign, but I was also able to develop my interest in gender policy specifically. So through working at the United Nations Foundation on their Universal Access Project, which is all about sexual and reproductive health and rights of women, I was able to take all of these skills, these analytical skills, these research skills, and to implement that with concrete policy initiatives and to learn how to work both collaboratively with a small team to sort of quickly step into new and unfamiliar roles, and also to take initiative to sort of carve out opportunities, to highlight issues I thought were important. So it's been really exciting to see how my Dalton education has empowered me then to go and work on efforts to enact meaningful change in the broader world. One thing that sort of sticks in my mind is the fourth grade Ellis Island simulation. In our current political climate, immigration is a very significant issue. And from such a young age to think responsibly about what these issues might entail, what hardships might align with it, and how we can start to make that process better. So even though at the time I was I think I came to school dressed up in a head wrap and a long skirt as a Hungarian immigrant, I believe, sort of navigating that process. And now as I sort of pursue further work in human rights and thinking about how to best empower vulnerable communities, this is something that we've been thinking about for a long time. But it was also really fun. I think that's what Dalton does best, is that they imbue learning with such excitement and with such creativity and these boundless possibilities. I think just as Dalton students are always growing, so is the school. And all of the efforts that Dalton has made to embrace wholeheartedly that progressive ideology, that progressive pedagogy, and to dare to take bold steps, and to do so both thoughtfully and intentionally, I see a very bright future for Dalton, and I'm very happy to be a part of that community.